An investigation is underway after 20 young people were found dead at a tavern in East London. Natalie Malgas joins us now there live. A very good afternoon to you. Emotions ran high, and of course it's a scene that one doesn't expect to see very often. Talk to us about what's going on there and the atmosphere with this devastating tragedy.
Well, we're standing outside the mortuary right now, where several family members are still seated outside. We heard fresh details actually from the police minister a short while ago. As you know, he too broke down while relaying new details to the families. There are 20 bodies in the mortuary right now, retrieved from that tavern from the early hours of this morning. We know that there were at least 8 girls and 12 boys as part of that group that passed away, and at this point it's unclear what led to their passing. But what the police minister determined for us a short while ago is that all of them were minors, the youngest being 13 years old and the oldest being 17 years old. He did also share with the families and the media a little later that the theory of it just being a stampede, that is fading. The forensic team has determined that this certainly wasn't natural causes, and they are putting the work in to determine what resulted in their untimely deaths, with 20 bodies lying in this morgue, 7 of which have yet to be identified. So there is also a call from local authorities for the families of those who think that their children may have been at the tavern during the early hours of this morning, for them to come to the mortuary and identify those bodies, because there are still 7 children that haven't yet been accounted for, or claimed rather, by their relatives.
We know that the Eastern Cape Community Safety MEC has said that they are prepared to provide transport for those who may want to come and see if their children are indeed in that mortuary. Talk to us about some of the discoveries, as some parents must have come throughout the course of this morning to identify their loved one, and of course emotions must have run high.
Indeed, in fact, just while we were standing here, we heard the wailing and the cries from inside the mortuary. This as relatives walked through and weaved between the bodies that were laid out on display to identify the young children. And as they came out after seeing those harrowing scenes, we saw more of the emotions running high outside here. It was exactly those scenes inside the mortuary that resulted in the police minister himself breaking down while he was sharing the details with those of us outside the morgue here. He was explaining, just from a parent's perspective, he was going through many emotions. This wasn't an easy day at the office for him, he says. In fact, leaving a lot of the auxiliary support services, the trauma counselling, the prayers, and that kind of support to the chaplain to do, because this was really difficult on the police minister, and most certainly for the parents who are still seated outside the mortuary right now.
Timing, Natalie, when will autopsies be done and conducted as the process unfolds, and a lot of questions are still in the air?
There are a lot of questions, and the police minister has assured that a team from a national level has been assigned this case. They are making their way to East London shortly. In fact, a team from Pretoria has been sent to assist a local team here in East London to decipher what exactly happened. We know that this matter can't be wrapped up swiftly. They don't want to miss anything, but they also want to give the family answers as soon as possible. What they have, as a preliminary, been able to determine is that the theory of the stampede is quickly being ruled out, and that of the children dying of natural causes. The forensic team has also assured the family that they too are working swiftly to get all the details, do all the necessary tests, and with this high-level team also coming in to assist, they are pretty confident that they can get those answers to the families in the next few days.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. Natalie Malgas on a developing story out in the Eastern Cape, bringing us up to speed with the latest developments.